Hey everyone, welcome to another Facebook Live. I'm your host, Jess.
And I'm your host, Lauren.
And today we are going to be talking about the best careers for introverts and extroverts, and we have a lot of great content for you. Before we jump in, Lauren is going to give us our Facebook Live etiquette.
Thanks, Jess. So we appreciate all of you introverts and extroverts joining us today. And we want you all to feel good about participating in the conversation. So if you have any questions or anything you'd like to add as we are talking today, please feel free to leave that in the comments. You can also like and share if you're so inclined, or if you know people that could benefit from listening to this conversation. We just ask that, of course, you don't put any personal information into the very public comment section. So if you do want to talk to us and you're a current Penn Foster student, you can call Student Services at 1-888-427-1000. If you are not yet a Penn Foster student, but you're an introvert or an extrovert and you are looking to complete your education online, you can call our admissions department at 1-888-427-6500 and speak to us about programs that you might be interested in and how to enroll. So let's get into the good stuff. On our agenda today, we're going to cover how to know whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, what careers are a good fit for introverts, what careers are a good fit for extroverts, and getting the most out of an online education as an introvert or an extrovert. So, Jess, how do you know if you're an introvert or if you are an extrovert?
So basically, it's a pretty simple definition or difference. Your personality and preferences can make a big difference when you're looking into a new career. So you need to kind of factor these things in when you're making those decisions. That means that finding your dream job may not just be whether a specific career is in demand or pays well. It's also about whether it's a good fit for your personality. Because if you go into it just because of the pay or, something like that, but it's not something you're going to thrive in because of just your inner personality, then, it's not really worth it. Introverts are people who get energy from alone time and may generally prefer to hang out by themselves or in small groups of close friends. While some people say introverts are shy, that's not necessarily true. I mean, I know a lot of introverts who aren't necessarily shy when they're in their core groups of friends or in small groups, but in bigger groups or in public situations have a hard time with those things. And they can just prefer to be quiet, introspective, and just may keep to themselves in certain social interactions. They can be outgoing with close friends, like I said, but introverts may thrive in more jobs that don't require as much interaction with others and allow them to work independently. And on the opposite side of that, extroverts are people who are energized by social contact and thrive in large groups and interactions with others. As an extrovert, which I know I am personally, jobs that allow you to work closely with others can be the best fit for you. If you're not sure whether you're an introvert or an extrovert because, you feel like some of the things we just said apply to you in the extrovert realm and the introvert realm, there is a personality quiz you can take online. There's actually a bunch of different ones, but one great test is the 16 personalities test. You can find it at 16personalities.com/free personality test, and we'll also drop that link in the comments. And it tells you more about your Myers-Briggs personality type, which tells you if you're an introvert or an extrovert, but goes into a bunch of other different pieces of your personality that can help you understand yourself a little bit better and the things that you thrive in.
Absolutely. And I think the cool thing about a Myers-Briggs type of personality test is it could give you more insight into what you are. And I feel like even the most self-aware people, it still helps to have those personality test results where you kind of know what your type is, even in a work environment, and how you would do best working with other people. So it can give you some cool insight, and it's just a really fun quiz. So check out that 16 personalities quiz. We'll drop the link in the comments. Jess, do you know what personality type you are?
I am an ENFJ, which on the Myers-Briggs 16 personalities website is described as the protagonist. And what's really cool is when you do take the quiz, it gives you like a high-level overview of all of the pieces broken down, and it gives you some fun facts and tells you celebrities and people who are the same personality type as you. Which one are you?
I am very close to yours. I'm an ENTJ, so we're one letter off.
Yeah. But it's funny because it can make the difference between, like we're talking about in this Facebook Live, that one piece of your personality can really, you can tailor your life and the things that you like to do and your career in particular, which is what we're talking about, to that piece of your personality. And it really could make a huge difference. So even though we're very similar in a lot of ways, that one piece could change how we work differently.
Absolutely. And I think it's cool too, if you're working on a team, like we were saying, to be mindful of what other people are, because if you know somebody is more thinking than feeling or something like that, it helps how you talk to them, because you know how they're going to respond to certain types of communications and how to best work together. So it's really cool. Definitely check it out. One thing I've heard too about Myers-Briggs types of tests is that you kind of are your personality type for your whole life. Something I heard, I'm not an expert, so I don't know if this is completely true, but unless you experience like a major trauma or a big, big life change, you're probably going to be the same personality type your whole life. So I thought that was really interesting. So
absolutely, that is interesting. So I know when I first went to college, I took the test, and then years later, I took it again, and I did end up with the same result, even though I felt like a different person. Yeah. But it was just, growing up. So it is really interesting.
Definitely, yeah. So even if you have taken a Myers-Briggs test before, take it again, because you can see if you've changed or not. And it could be interesting. I know the pandemic, I read something too that the pandemic did change
Oh, that makes sense.
How a lot of people's like personalities are. So you can see, if you haven't taken it since before the pandemic, if that made an impact.
Well, I know what I'm doing after this Facebook Live. I'm taking the test again. So Lauren, while we're talking about the differences between introverts and extroverts, and specifically when it comes to careers, what are some good careers that are a good fit for an introvert?
Sure. So again, introverts are the types of personality where you get more energy by being by yourself, and it takes up more of your energy to be around other people. So again, another thing with like the Myers-Briggs is like, even if you kind of fall in the middle, you usually are an introvert or an extrovert, and you're one or the other mostly. But introverts tend to be good listeners, observant, introspective, independent, and cautious. So since introverts do best in environments that don't require a ton of interaction with others, jobs that could be really good fits for introverts include creative careers like marketing, graphic design, writing, or photography. In these kinds of roles, you may work with coworkers or some clients, but it's not constant social interaction. You're often focused on different projects or tasks that are a little bit more solitary. You might need input or to work with other people on how best to accomplish those tasks, but you get to spend a lot of your time working on your own. Technical careers like IT jobs, coding or web design and user experience design are also great fits for introverts. These careers allow you to work as part of a team, so you do get a little human interaction, but you don't really have to work with people on a regular basis. Business careers like accounting, tax preparation, payroll clerk, bookkeeper, data analyst, or market researcher are also great careers. In these jobs, you can use your observational and analytical skills on a regular basis. So that's kind of cool to fuel those strengths that introverts have. Skilled trades careers also, like mechanic, carpenter, or landscaping. While you may have some direct interaction with customers, you usually don't need to see a ton of them or spend a ton of time with them. You get to work directly on the project that you're tasked with doing. And then even in healthcare, which a lot of people are surprised by, there are some jobs that you can work on more on your own, like medical billing and coding, medical administrative assistant, health information management, medical transcription, or sterile processing. So you can really make a difference for patients, but not work directly with the patients. And a lot of those jobs also have work from home potential. So that's the best thing for a lot of introverts who really just like to spend time on their own. Introverts really like to do well in jobs that allow them to be independent and complete tasks without somebody watching over their work constantly or being with other people constantly. Though introverts can absolutely work and thrive and succeed in careers that are more people-focused, we're definitely, just to disclaim with all of these, we're not saying like an introvert or an extrovert couldn't succeed in these roles. It's just what you might be more suited to and what might feel better for you as a career. But, introverts, it could be more emotionally draining to interact with a large number of people. That might not be your thing. So it might be beneficial to you to look into these careers that we just mentioned, where you really get to do a lot of your work on your own and feel rewarded by using the skills that are innate to you and doing a really good job.
That is, I think it's really important that you pointed out that people don't think about healthcare careers specifically for introverted people. Because like we're saying, we're not saying that if you take the Myers-Briggs test and you come out that you're an introvert and you always wanted to work in medical and now you don't think you can be a doctor. That's not the case at all. But you also need to remember your own personal mental health. And I think that that's really important too, not to force yourself to be in a kind of job that's going to take a toll on you and really take a lot out of you, like you said. So if you did want to work in the medical field and you do want to do something that helps you directly affect the lives of patients and people's health and taking care of people is something you love to do, that there are jobs that fit an introverted personality type that won't take as much out of you, but you still feel like you're making that difference like you want. And I also like that you brought out work from home, because that is also a big thing, obviously, post-pandemic or, post whatever, where there's a lot of work from home positions. A lot of people went from working in an office to working from home. And there's a lot more potential there for work from home jobs. And that's something too that as an introverted person, considering any of these careers, but considering if you can do any of them working from home might be a really beneficial option for you.
Absolutely. It gives you energy to be able to do your job well if you're working from home as an introvert, because you're putting your energy into your job. Even if you have meetings with other people, you can focus your energy on that, but you're not spending energy being in, a vet clinic or an office or store all day with a million other people if that's not your thing. So on the flip side of that, Jess, what are some good careers for extroverts?
So basically kind of taking what Lauren just talked to us about and flipping the script. Extroverts tend to be outgoing, friendly, positive, flexible, and not afraid to take risks. And those are the kind of things that they can really take into these specific careers and thrive. Since extroverts do thrive in social settings and working with people, jobs that allow them to work closely with clients and coworkers can best fit that personality type for sure. I mean, I know if you are somebody who watches our Facebook Lives all the time, you know that sometimes we do them virtually because we do work from home sometimes, but being in this environment with you live and in person is energizing to me.
Me too.
And it might not be to somebody else.
Yes.
So healthcare careers that allow you to work directly with patients, like a medical assistant, a dental assistant, a home health aide, pharmacy technician, physical therapist, or an optician, are all great options if you want to work in the healthcare space, but you have an extroverted personality. Extroverts do really well in these type of jobs because they get to interact with patients on a regular basis. Besides that, fun, sociable extroverts can do a lot to ease a patient's anxiety just by being their friendly selves. And I think that that's really important to consider as well. The way that, if you give off an energy, a lot of people can feel that. So if you do have that fun, outgoing personality, people who are in those situations might really enjoy being around you, which is awesome. Retail careers also, like customer service, sales, and supervisor roles, You'll get to greet and help customers all day, and in supervisor roles, you'll be able to use your extrovert energy to guide team members and help the store or business be successful. I know a lot of my youth, and I keep talking about myself because we're talking about extroverts, but right out of high school, I did a lot of retail, and it was something I always felt like I was really good at because I loved working with customers and working with my coworkers. So. And then I know we talked about creative jobs in the introvert section, but there are also creative jobs that are good for extroverts, like an interior decorator, an event planner, a wedding planner, or a social media coordinator or manager. You'll work really closely with clients in these kinds of jobs, and being friendly and outgoing goes a long way with the client experience. Skilled trades or industrial jobs like an industrial supervisor, a plumber, an HVAC tech, or a home remodeling, or like working in home remodeling, where you either work really closely with clients or you supervise a team that works really closely with clients, you can also very much thrive in. Criminal justice jobs like a security guard, a paralegal, or a private investigator, or business jobs like an HR associate, a business or office manager, or a property manager. And I know that was a lot, but it just goes to show that for both introverts and extroverts, there are a lot of different industries and different pieces of the industry that you can thrive in versus other pieces of it.
Absolutely. And we need both kinds of people because, it's just about where people thrive. Like an extrovert isn't necessarily going to thrive in a role where they're more solitary in their work. But on the flip side, an introvert is not going to feel good at the end of the day if they're around people all day. So everybody's place in the world matters and makes a difference, and we need everyone. Yep. So, it's just all about figuring out what is going to work best for you and what you love and where your skills are and pursuing that.
Absolutely. My mom always said it takes all kinds of kinds, right? Everybody, it takes this kind of person and that kind of person, and that's the way the world turns. So very, very good point there. One more thing I wanted to point out about extroverts is they could be great in freelance roles also, where you kind of need to market yourself and market your own skills, and you have to reach out to clients directly. It's, a very personable, direct contact kind of role, and it's not suited for everybody. But if you do have an extroverted personality, that could be something that you thrive in as well. And it's something you can do on the side if you also have a regular job too, which is cool.
Definitely, a really good point. And I think too, just one more thing on this topic that I'll say is like, even some of these careers that we named for like introvert or extrovert, depending on the company that you'd be working for, like the exact role that you would be in, it might be tailored more for introvert, even if it's an extrovert role or vice versa. So it's definitely important to always look at the job description when you're interviewing. Remember, like, you want the job and you have to impress them, but you also have to be happy with the job that you're about to get. So try to find out what a day in the life is like working in that kind of job, what the team is like, how they interact with each other, and you can figure out if you'll feel like you fit in and you'll be happy working there.
Absolutely. That's such a good point, Lauren. And obviously we're talking about careers, but before careers, you do school. And being that we offer online programs, we have some tips for introverts and extroverts on how you can get the most out of online school. So Lauren, do you want to take us through how introverts can get the most out of online school? And then I can tackle the extroverts right after that.
That sounds like a good plan. I will just say to start, I think a lot of people think of online school as being something that is for introverts because, I think that kind of comes from like the high school. If you're not going to like a brick and mortar school or college, or you're not going to class in person, you'd think like, oh, that's for somebody who doesn't want to be around other people. But with a lot of our programs, and right now, we're talking about a lot of like career-related programs to get into these jobs that you can do. Extroverts can absolutely thrive. So I think it's just important to note that online school could be for introverts or extroverts. But for introverts, to get the most out of online school, take advantage of resources like emailing or messaging your instructors through your student portal. You could also get student services help right through the portal. So this allows you to get what you need. And if you hit a roadblock and you really need that assistance, but you're just not somebody who likes to talk on the phone, there are ways that you could get help without having to make a phone call, which you'd probably prefer to avoid. You can also take advantage of learning resources through the LRC, the Learning Resource Center. So there's just tons of information, great resources on a variety of subjects that you can look through on your own and not have to work with anybody else to get that knowledge. We also have an amazing community on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us there. That's newer. Twitter, everywhere that you are, we are. So you can interact there. You can interact with fellow learners in the comments, but we also have a student community that was designed specifically so you all can interact with one another online. So you could log in there, meet people in your program, meet people who are nothing like you, meet people who are exactly like you, find people who have interests that you have, and get that interaction that way. But again, all online, all through written communications, so you don't have to talk to anyone face to face. I will say too, introverts may often do well in online classes that are self-paced like ours are, because it's very independent work. You don't have to follow someone else's timeline. You don't have to attend live lectures or classes. And you don't have to worry about one of those dreaded participation grades, which even as an extrovert, I also hated the participation grade because being forced to speak and interact and put yourself on the spot in class when you don't want to is the worst. So you could avoid that altogether with online school.
Very good points. Very good points. And I have to agree also, 2 out of 2 extroverts on Facebook Live agree that the participation grade is the worst.
It's rough. So Jess, tell us a little bit about extroverts in online school.
So like Lauren said at the beginning, while a lot of people might think that online school is for introverted people, that's not necessarily the case. Extroverts can also thrive in an online school format. As an extrovert, you'll want to connect with your teachers, fellow students, and alumni through your student portal, social media, like we said, and the student community. Not only can you get the help when you need it, but you can make friends and build an online network that can be beneficial to you in the future. Specifically, talking about that online networking, a lot of networking happens online these days.
Absolutely.
So for an extroverted person, use that to your advantage and use your, outgoing personality to network online with your peers or alumni or your teachers or all of that good stuff. Extroverts, you may also get more out of speaking directly with a teacher or a student advocate on the phone as opposed to utilizing the online resources, since conversations can be very, very helpful to how you understand things. You can call Monday through Friday to get help from academic advocates and student service advocates, or you can make an appointment in your student portal and talk to your teacher right on the phone. So just knowing that you have the option to do it online or to talk to somebody directly, I know for me, it's easier for me to just be able to kind of word vomit everything out and then kind of reassemble it back together than to type something and worry that I forgot. Yeah. So if you feel that way as well, you do have that option, which is awesome. And to make sure you stay on track with your courses, extroverted people may want to have people in their life to hold them accountable. So definitely share your goals and progress with your friends and family to help keep you motivated, because we can kind of get distracted.
Yeah. I think those are all really good points. I think another benefit for extroverts too is because it's online and it's self-paced, you can kind of get your studies out of the way in one part of your day and then use the rest of your day to do the things that fulfill you as an extrovert, like socializing with your friends, hanging out with your family, going to your job. And it gives you the flexibility to have more time on your own schedule too for all the social interaction in your day, and then fit in the learning when it makes sense. So I think that's kind of a cool perk for extroverts as well.
Absolutely. I think that all of this was just such great info, just to share with you guys, and hopefully it helps you decide what kind of career you might want to go into, or even decide whether you want to do online school or not. Or if nothing else, take the Myers-Briggs test and see what your personality type is, because it really, really will help you kind of look in on yourself and decide and help you make decisions for your future, which is the whole goal of this whole thing.
Absolutely. And if any of you watching have tips for how to succeed as an introvert or an extrovert in school or in your career, please feel free to send us a message with those tips, because maybe we'll reshare them on social media and they can help somebody else. Or definitely log into the student community and spark up a conversation there, because, you know, people love to get your great advice and be motivated by what works for you. So don't keep it to yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for joining us again for a Facebook Live, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.